Today on the show, I have a very special co-presenter. Let me put it that way. He will be helping us to understand the history one after the other, as far as the Holy Land Review Show is concerned, and also the defeated of Goliath by David. So with me here is a very handsome gentleman, as I always say. He will mention his name to us, and he will be my co-presenter. In fact, he is going to be the presenter for today, and I will be his co. Hello, sir.
Shalom.
Shalom. What's your name?
Omer Eshel, pleasure meeting you.
Pleasure meeting you too. Can you give us a short history about yourself?
Of course, I live here actually in the Ella Valley. I used to be the Consul of Tourism on behalf of the State of Israel to the Midwest of the United States. And today I'm the CEO of the International The Bible Comes to Life Travel and Education Center. That what we do study tours to Israel to bring the Bible to life to believers all over the world.
Presenter, today what are we looking at?
So today we're actually looking at two places. We are now above the Ella Valley in a place called Azekah. Azekah in Hebrew meaning from the word to alarm. Because as you see, when we drove up here, this is a very high plateau, actually one of the highest in Judean region. And when an army used to arrive, they used to do bonfires to single with smoke, to notify all the cities around us, hence the name Azekah. What's so special and unique about this place, before we're going to go to view the battle of David and Goliath, is that we can reach here, right behind me actually, if the camera can zoom in, we find pieces of jars of a handle that was destroyed in the year 586 BCE with the charcoal remaining of the great fire of Nebuchadnezzar before he destroyed Jerusalem. In the Bible, of course.
So this stone has really lived a very long, more than 3,000 years, I guess.
Yes.
Viewers, today we are going to learn a lot. This is the Holy Land Review Show. It is my co-presenter who is helping us to understand the story about this very valley, which has a city under, to understand it very well. So at this point, he will take us through what we need to learn for this week's episode. Over to you.
So we are now studying on Azekah. Azekah, as we said before we climbed up, it's a city that guarded the valley of Elah. As you look around, it doesn't look like a city. It just looks like a mount, which in Hebrew is called a tel, which is a layer after layer after layer of archaeological cities. We can see right here a layer of a city that was destroyed around the time of King Uzziah. We know King Uzziah and Prophet Amos at the time of the Bible, of the Old Testament. And this is what the place I want to show to you and to our viewers, how the Bible connects exactly to what we found in the ground. So when we look at this place, this is a house. There used to be a workshop, probably a jeweler or probably some kind of a handyman that was burned down to the ground from a massive, massive fire. However, that fire was not caused because of a battle. There were no arrowheads. There were no evidence of an external force. But still, it was completely destroyed and burned down to the ground. We actually found some human remains over here. So what we saw a place that was completely burned down with a very thick layer of ash, showing a violent end. We came to the understanding that probably on top of this workshop used to be jars of oil. And what happened when they fell down of an earthquake, because of an earthquake, that oil lit up on fire and burned down this place. So when we analyze the first text in book of Amos, the word of Amos was a shepherd from Tekoa, which is right behind us, okay? And it says here, 2 years before the earthquake. This is the remains of the earthquake. This place was destroyed in the earthquake that the Bible speaks about with Amos. Now, if you're going to go to verse 2, look at this. It says here, the Lord roars from Zion and thunders from Jerusalem. The pasture of the shepherd dry up, and the top of the camel withers. The Lord roars out of Zion. That's an earthquake. He describes an earthquake that was made by God, of course. And when we stand here in Azekah, 3,000 years later, we see the remain of the earthquake, which is mentioned in book of Amos.
Viewers, 3,000 years later, they found or they discover the city under where we are standing now. And that is what you are seeing for yourself. In fact, I'll continue to watch the Holy Land Review Show because it is bringing the Bible life to you wherever you are. This is the Holy Land Show. We've come to another section of the program, and my co-presenter, who is today my presenter, is going to also help us again to understand where we are now. This is the Holy Land Review Show. My name is Lois Akwa, and my co-presenter's name is
Omer Eshel.
So, where are we now?
Well, we are now overlooking the valley of Elly. I want all of our viewers now, I'm going to give them 30 seconds. Open your Bibles, 1 Samuel chapter 17. This is one of the climax of a visit to Israel, because here you can analyze the battle of David and Goliath verse by verse, second by second, and see exactly what the Bible speaks about.
Wow. So where are we now?
So the best place to understand the Bible and the battle is to be above the valley, not in the valley. Which in a way doesn't make any sense, because you want to see the place where David slew Goliath, but David slew Goliath inside the valley of Elly. So when you're standing in the valley of Elly, which is right behind us where all these trucks are, right in the back of us, this is all valley of Elly. If you're going down there, you will not be able to understand the scriptures. So I hope our viewers already opened the Bibles.
Yes, they have opened the Bible. Viewers, I believe you have opened your Bibles. They have.
So we're looking now at 1 Samuel 17. It is said that the Philistine invaded into Judah and encamped in the town of Succo, between Succo and Azekah. We are now on Azekah. This is Azekah. Succo, if you look all the way in the middle of the valley, there's a road that curves to the right.
Okay.
Behind the forest hill, you see that?
Yeah.
There's a small slope on the hill on the left, on the right hand side. That's Succo.
Okay.
So, for us to understand, imagine every single one of the trees that you see in front of us, not next to the greenhouses, way back in the horizon, every single one of those trees is a Philistine soldier. So from there up to here, the entire horseshoe of the valley is full of Philistines.
So where was David standing then?
Wait, if you continue on reading,
I'm now curious.
we continue reading.
Okay.
We saw that Saul came down with his people from Judah, which are the mountains way in the back, way in the back, and came down and encamped in front of Succo. If you look straight ahead behind us, you see houses.
Yes.
This is the campsite of the Israelites.
Okay.
So just for our viewers to understand, imagine each one of these houses is an Israelite soldier, and each one of those thousands upon thousands of trees is a Philistine soldier. So we have a massive army against a very small army of Saul. The Bible tells us that Gath, the giant from Goliath of Gath, came out of the Philistine army into the valley. You can see the valley right in front of you. He came from that side, from the right hand side, towards the Israelites and trashed the Israelites for 40 days. And he said, come and fight me, and if I will win, we will be your slaves. If you will win, we will be your slaves. If I will win, you will be our slaves, and we will leave you to the birds and the beasts of the field, which gives a bitter taste to the Israelites when they understand what's going to happen to them. Now, for 40 days, Lois, for 40 days, no one had the guts and the belief in God to go and fight against the giant. And the 40 days. And the Bible clear about this, that every day for 40 days, Goliath came in and out and in and out.
Something good.
Of course. We jump to verse 24.
Okay.
Verse 24.
Verse 24.
We have a story of a little shepherd by the name David. David comes from the city of Bethlehem, which, as we said, all the way back, those little silhouette that you see in the back, that's Bethlehem.
That's small.
The mountains all the way in the back, that's Bethlehem. It's a little hazy, but it's about 8 hours walk uphill, 6 hours walk downhill. Okay? And Jesse told him to bring ephod and cheese and supply to his brothers. He came down to the tent, and then he heard all this commotion of what's going on. And he asked, what is this? And they said that the king, whoever will defeat the giant, the king will give his daughter, Michal, to be his wife, and will exempt him from taxes.
Wow.
When was the last time you heard any government?
No
No one ever.
Even after paying the tax, they still want more.
There you go. Death and taxes. That's it. So you're exempt. This is a miracle by itself.
Come to Israel and see the truth of God. On behalf of my co-presenter, we want to say thank you to you viewers out there for always making a date with us. We want to say thank you to Israeli Embassy in Ghana for always making this program possible. From the Ella Valley here in Jerusalem, this has been the Holy Land Review Show.